Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Addie and today we are back with another speed build. I've done a lot of speed builds recently. They're just easier to do than other videos. Anyway, we are back. We are doing the other side of whatever you want to call this. Um, last I don't know, last video was the other side of that. So on the other side of the pond, you'll see there's another build. And if you want to go back and watch it, I will try to remember to link it down below. But this side is the Foxbury side. So that's like the modern or like modern science and math school, whereas Brightchester is more of the like traditional literature and history school. So we are doing this side. This is supposed to look like a duplex, and then it's only one like actually on the inside. This similarly to the other build. It's just that the other build for whatever is like offset, and this one's not. So you will see me fiddle with this roof situation for a long time. Um, if you'll notice, there is a thing, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a visual glitch um in the front of the build where if it's right up against a platform, the roof trim just like doesn't show up for whatever reason, and you can like see next to it or like see through it, which is inconvenient. So we have like a thing, what do you call it? We have like a one of those fake kiss. Hey, I'm sorry. My my cat's decided he wants to bury his food. And so I apologize. He's being loud. Um, it's just I feel like it's more distracting for me than for you guys. Anyway, um but so we have this half wall, right, to kind of hide it, and then I put this like decorative chimney thing going on. Um and I couldn't decide what color to use. And one thing that's really weird is if you press the rotate buttons, it cuts off, like rotates everything weird. Um, so it's like not perfectly on the lot, which is really strange. And then one thing else that's weird, that's more of like a visual glitch and doesn't hurt as much, is that if I change the pitch of the roof, the color of the um like God, what's it called? Chimney. There we go. The color of the chimney went into shadow. And I was like, what on earth the fuck is going on with this build? Like, there is nothing above this build. And you want me to believe that because the roof is half a click smaller. I don't even know if click is like a I know it's like a sailing term, but I don't know. Yeah. Don't hate me in the comments if you know what that means. It's like I'm gonna call it a click, half a click smaller. And you want me to believe that the entire chimney is now in shadow. No, no. Anyway, so I wanted to lower the roof, but I didn't because I preferred that color of the chimney instead of it being in shadow. Yeah. And then I kind of liked the concept of if you watched the previous build, you'll know that the previous build I sort of imagined was like owned by a professor that the university like let students that like the professor in the universe and they worked with the university and let students live there, however the fuck it would work. But this one, I imagined this build was like for the and owned by the university itself. So the students that live here are like, like a fraternity or something. I did try to kind of go for like a it's definitely owned by the school kind of vibe. Um so we have that, and then we have the two sides. I actually end up using those red windows from Growing Together throughout the whole build. And we use the floor plan I actually kind of liked. Um and we have sort of like a weird, well, it's not really weird, but it's like, um I'm sorry if you can hear my cat. I apologize on his behalf. He's a little bit of a weirdo. Um, his new cat tree just got here. If you're not familiar, my cat's name is Atticus. He is half Maine Coon, and he is 17, probably almost 18 pounds at this point. But he is kind of a weird cat, and he likes to slap things that doesn't make sense. For example, he likes to slap his food. So that's really fun. And anyway, um, he we joke. So I have this little like plaster statuette of I think it's a Beethoven, and I set him Beethoven by my cat's, by Atticus bowl, or like bowl and bag of food. And he's just been living there for like months at this point. But we joke that Beethoven watches over Atticus food. That's not what happens, but we pretend. Anyway, we are inside now. And you will quickly see what I mean by some choices. So, first of all, this wallpaper. This might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I love this wallpaper. I think it is gorgeous. I think it is pretty. Um, Same things, but yeah. Um, the thing is that it is a lot. And I know it's a lot, but I really wanted it because, again, in my head, these were like interior design and like architectural design students. And so while the architectural design is less there, I feel like they probably let some interior design students like furnish this place, you know? And also another thing is that I moved the pitcher of lemonade from backyard stuff into the living room. And originally I had put a hot pot and the waffle maker in the kitchen. I ended up getting rid of the hot pot because A, I've been putting it in everything. But also, um, I'm sorry, my cat just got his head stuck in. So we are trying to kennel train Zilla, and re-kennel train because she has some troubles. But and so there's like a half an hour period after I get home from work where Zilla is in her kennel for some time while I'm home. Helps with her anxiety of being in the kennel. And he takes that opportunity to be as chaotic as he can be. So he just he is, yeah. It's also like 7 p.m. when I'm recording this, so yeah. Anyway, we are furnishing in the kitchen. I got rid of the hot pot because I've been putting it in every single build for the past like 3 builds. And um the reason for that is because they've all been like university housing ones. So you in university, you cannot have the stove or like a grill of any kind. And so to get around that, you can have like microwaves, like other small appliances, but like no stoves, no grills. So I couldn't have the pizza oven, but I can have the waffle machine. Or I can't have a stove outside or like a grill outside, but I can have the hot pot. And so I've been putting those in these builds, right? But then I got into this one and I was doing that. And I am sorry, Atticus is being chaotic still. He will continue. He is one, literally. But so I've been doing that and I realized like nobody in this build is like a culinary arts major. There's one person that I imagined like liked to cook, but I felt like she liked to cook. You know, she wasn't like a waffle maker. She was more of like a pizza maker, and you can't have a pizza oven. So I just didn't have it. That and cupcakes. I felt like she liked pizza and cupcakes, which is not really like a culinary arts major vibe, you know? Um, and so we didn't really didn't really um like have a reason to have like a really cool fancy gourmet kitchen. So I tried to avoid that. So we have a microwave. In the other building, we have the pot, we have um it's actually really nice in there. Everybody gets their own room. There is an unfurnished basement, which is not accessible because I forgot about it halfway through the build. But yeah, so I mean, like there could have been more space for more bedrooms and more Sims, but I kind of like that it's not that. I kind of like that there's just the four of them, and we've got sort of like this eclectic. Because again, I imagined that the other build was built by or like owned by a professor, and so the professor sort of had their taste in the build, whereas this one is very like Foxbury. And so we have Foxbury on the walls. Another thing that I did in this build that maybe was clever, maybe was not, I don't really care, is that there's not actually like any wall art in here. So um, they have some like merch, if you will. They have some like wall merch, but they don't have anything else. That's all they have is just like Foxbury flags, Foxbury posters, Foxbury everything. And so it's kind of um it's a lot of red. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of red, but they don't really have like fancy anythings going on. There's no fancy wall art, like the nobody's a painter in this build. So, and also it's owned by the university. So I didn't imagine that too many people were going to be concerned about like the wall decor in their university housing, you know? And then I did really want to use this rug from the Modern Luxe kit, and that light is from the Modern Luxe kit. The Modern Luxe kit and the Book Nook kit, top two favorite kits. I know that the Book Nook kit is like up there for a lot of people, but I really love the Modern Luxe kit. It's probably like in combo with like Crystal Creations and Paranormal, and my style is a little bit everywhere. It's like a classy witch vibe, which my apartment does not look like that. Don't get me wrong, it does not look like that. But we also are an apartment. So no matter what I did, I couldn't really like decorate it to my dreams. Because there are I can paint the walls, but I can only do Like I couldn't do black or navy or maroon um or anything like that. And those are like my favorite colors. So, yeah. Yeah. Don't really love that, but and also I really want like a blue and navy like swirly night sky glow in the dark star pattern on my ceiling. That's not going to happen. That is like the epitome of not a thing here. And then we've got like a little bit of a game room. I do try to include game rooms in a lot of my university builds just because I feel like if you were a university student, you would want that. You know what I mean? Like having a card table, having a ping pong table. I feel like those are nice things to have in university. If not realistic, definitely something that is nice to have in The Sims. And then I did use this mirror. I don't remember what kit it's from, but I never get to use this mirror because it's 3 wide. And so I feel like you can't really use it most places. But I ended up being able to use it here and I loved it because, again, going back to like the interior design vibes that we were going for originally, I feel like it worked out really well to have like this cool mirror. And then all of these rooms are not, um, they're not fire safe. So for example, in real life, if the stairs caught on fire for whatever reason, you could not escape. And that is not fire safety. So, um, we these would not be bedrooms in real life. But it's The Sims, you know? So we can do whatever we want. Anyway, these are where the freshmen sleep. Um, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, I'm sorry. The freshmen are like the first year college students. You also have freshmen in reference to first year high school students, different people. Typically speaking, I kind of felt bad for this kid on a side note, because he's into space and we don't, this is the basement. Okay. Anyway, so freshman high schoolers are like 14, 15 years old. Okay. Freshman college students are usually like 18 to 19. Sometimes they're younger, sometimes they're a little bit older, but usually they're about 18 to 19 years old. The the freshman college students still think they're the top of the food chain most of the time, when in fact they have nothing. They don't know anything about college. Like, people always say that high school gets you ready for college. Like that's what teachers tell you in high school is like, "Oh, well, you're going to have a lot of work in college. We're just preparing you for college." No. No. None. The only class, literally the only class that I ever had that prepared me for college wasn't even my college level chemistry class. The class that prepared me for college the most was my high school level chemistry class because that professor, well, I guess he was a teacher, but that teacher taught college previously. And the only reason he was at the school was because his wife was in the military. And so he was having to teach these high schoolers who thought they were the shit. And he was like, when you get to college, you're not the shit. He taught us, he would tell us, we would have like very in-depth conversations about like how to dispose of dead bodies and the most effective way to like dissolve things. The top two were dismember them and dump them in the Florida swamps. And what's the word? cremate. My brain was like incinerate. Yeah. Cremate them. I guess you could also like dissolve their body in acid. But I don't know if the bones would go away. So anyway, those were the top two. Do not condone murder. We are not doing that. Um, but anyway, I talked over two rooms. So the room that I'm working on right now is for two roommates. I imagine they are best friends. Not previously, but like they move into the same room together and they become close friends over the course of the year. One of them is a um like a photography and gender studies, those are like her things. So I feel like her major would be gender studies, and then her hobby is photography. She's probably lesbian, although she does not have a flag. And then the other one is like super crafty, loves to make things, a little bit into music, mostly into like knitting and cross stitch, and she would definitely be like a crocheter. She's definitely like she definitely runs like an embroidery side gig going on. And then I did imagine that she was from Mount Komorebi. Um, so there is like a tiny little guy on her wall, for no reason other than she got it while she was living there. I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's like a thing in Japanese culture or if they just decided to add those because they're cute. So we have both of those. And then we did have two other rooms. Don't remember them. I'm gonna be completely honest. I built this literally like yesterday. I don't remember shit from yesterday. Okay. You cannot expect much from me. We are upstairs now, and I actually really loved all of the rooms. Oh, one of them, the room next to the first room that we furnished, so the middle room, was one was like a messy bookworm, and the other one was like super neat. And she's like, I imagine she was like the kind of person that was totally like, I never lived in dorms. I didn't. I found that really stressful, and also I have a dog, and who is not a service dog, and so she would not be allowed. Um, but anyway, so I never lived in them in the dorms, but anyway, so I imagine she was like a messy bookworm, and her other friend was like the kind of person that was always like had this dream of all of her roommates playing game nights, and that's just not what's happening, and so she's really disappointed. She's also like really neat and does not like her roommate. So that's a little sad, but anyway, we are upstairs and we have four people up here. We have the juice fizzer mixologist. We have the scientist who is specifically into geology. And then I did imagine that the sim, not the sim that we're doing right now. This is the sim. This sim has like a darker aesthetic, but obviously they have like yellow carpet and tan walls, and they're like, what the fuck is this room? And so there's two things that came with the room, and then they probably would have gotten in trouble for this, but I feel like they moved the bed out of the room, the bed that came with the room, and got a new bed with a new mat, like a new thing, and put that in there instead. So they definitely have like a darker aesthetic. And then this one also has a darker aesthetic. So this person is into like geology. So they've got the chemical analyst thingy. And then they also have the gem cutting machine, or table, I guess, rather. And then I did imagine that that sim already had like a degree in something. And so they had that degree like on the wall. And then we've got a plant in here and some posters. I put the Brainiacs one. I don't actually know what that what that club does. So that's really cool. And I put like a poster of space in there. This one is the robotics sim. So this sim is really, really into robotics, and they are also like hardcore Foxbury fan. So if you know they're like at every game, they're at every match, they're at everything. They're in the honor club or the spirit club. They're like super anti Bright Chester. And they are a robotics major, so that's fun for them. And they've got like all the merch and all the stuff. And I just kind of had fun like trying to find all of the merch that I possibly could. I wish we had those, you know, those posters that I have on the walls. I wish we had those, but like for like in rug forms. You know what I mean? Anyway, this sim is into robotics, and they are also a hardcore Foxbury fan. And we're just trying to find them a rug right now. I think I end up leaving it. I'm gonna be completely honest. And then this sim, I actually this sim was my favorite. So this sim, I imagined had a this sim got like a, oh my god, okay, this sim got um like a sports scholarship, and so they're going to school for sports scholar, like that's how they're paying for school in my mind. These sims don't exist, but in my mind this sim is going to school for law, not for sports. They're going for law, but they got a sports scholarship. And so they've got a lot of books. I did imagine that they have to be like a big heavy reader, because they're going for law. And then they also have so they've got like some books everywhere. They've got like some books at places, and they have and then they've got like their sports on the floor, and definitely like more I felt like they were a little bit creative, but definitely more of a reader. And so they have like some craft things from their roommate downstairs. And then they have like a lot of places to read. They could read at their desk, they could read on their over here. I did imagine that they spent most of their time reading in that on that little poof over there. And then we have just some curtains and a rug, and then I'll be furnishing the, what's it called, the hallway. There'll just be some more desks and stuff over there, and we are coming towards the end of the video. So if you liked this, if you would like and subscribe, that would really mean a lot, and I will see all of you in the next video. Bye.